So my question to you is, being a YouTuber, and you know, what do you see? Where do you see? What's the window right now to get in?
You know, that's a tricky question because I think we're in an interesting time now where all of the other times, the business model was the same because
Almost,
technology
yeah.
hadn't changed it. It was
DVDs, yeah, DVD was a different thing in the 90s, but generally speaking.
the foreign sales market, like things were up and down, but the way things happened was the same. And I think we're entering an interesting time now where the biggest kid on the block isn't the studios anymore.
The biggest kid in the
It's
block.
Netflix. I mean, you look at, you know, what the studio spent in 2015 or 16, like the total number they spent, like combined to make movies was like $2 billion. Combined, right?
Yeah.
And the total number of
Projects and things, yeah.
yeah, now talking like the indie film space, guess how much money they spent combined?
Oh.
Like including all of the films that didn't make money too.
Yeah, how many?
It's only like less than 2% make money or something.
Mm-hmm.
Guess how much money they spent?
How much?
$2 billion. Guess how much money Netflix spent that same year?
That would be 6 to 8 billion if I remember correctly, something like that. 11 billion. Look at that. Yeah.
They spent 11 to produce content. That's what they spent. These other, so like that tells you so much about where the market is right now. Who's really minting the dollars and what business model is actually making sense.
Right.
The studios aren't really, the studio model has been throwing darts in the dark the whole time. But because of the technology at the time and the internet not being where it is, or not even being around up to a certain point, right? So it allowed for that business model to thrive off scarcity, off of exclusivity, you know what I mean? But then as soon as the internet opened up and then better business models came along, like Netflix, data, analytics, you can't beat that. You can't beat that. So now, you know, Netflix doesn't have to throw darts in the dark, bro.
No, they know exactly. They know exactly what people want to watch, when they're watching it, how long they're watching it.
We got stats, baby.
We got stats. we got stats all day.
The viewer behavior patterns of all 44 million or however many, 100 something million subscribers, 146 or something million. We got data on all of them. All of them. It's just a matter of mix and match at that point. And then we also know how much to spend on it because they can afford to take a niche topic and say, oh yeah, well we'll throw 10 million at that. You know, but they have the metrics to tell them what's worth putting a ton of money into and what's not. Whereas the studios never had that. That's why every single time they come out, we're swinging for the fences. Every single time. Because you can't capitalize on niche markets without data.
Well, as of this recording, that new Ben Affleck action movie is coming out on Netflix. I forgot. It's like a heist movie. It's 100. It has to be like at least 100 million plus movie, easily. I still am fascinated with the Christmas movie they just get, the Kurt Russell Christmas movie. Did you see it? On Netflix? But you saw the promotions for it. Yeah, he's playing Santa and stuff. It was directed by Chris Columbus. Chris Columbus, who directed Home Alone and the first two Harry Potters, you know, among other things that he directed in his career. And I looked at that, I was like, they're going to make money off of that movie for decades because every Christmas, my kids are going to want to watch that movie now because we loved it. We must have seen it 2 or 3 times when it came out. And I looked at it, I'm like, that movie would have, if it would have gone theatrical, easily would have pulled over $300 million.
It's seasonal.
But it was,
to go back to your question though about how things have changed or about the business models changing the landscape. I think we're at a time now where I don't think it's fair to look at like the classical Hollywood model as the penultimate anymore.
It's not anymore. It hasn't been for a while. No.
It's just you know, the viewership in the Oscars every year is going down.
And this year's is going to be horrible. Ugh.
There's so many other things showing that the interest is kind of going,
but also the generational thing too, man. Like, you know, the millennials coming up and stuff. They're
More things compete for your attention.
They're also changing the way their value system is different. They're like, I don't want to work for a company for 30 years and get a gold watch and retire. That's not my dream. My dream is to go to Bali for 2 months out of the year and then work from home. Like that's, and I don't need to make $5 million a year. I'm good with making $100,000 a year if that keeps me in the lifestyle that I like. Like that mentality is changing everything. So now viewership is like, I need instant gratification. I need things that are catered to me. Because I remember when I worked at the video store in high school, I watched everything that came out every week, which was approximately 3 to 4, maybe 5 movies a week were being released. I still remember very clearly. I need multiple lifetimes to watch all the content that's being created just this year. Just this year, let alone all the stuff that's being created and will continue to culminate. There's entire series that I've never touched or watched, but I know that are really good. So there's no lack of good content. Now it's got to be curated, niched content that I want to watch. That's why I opened up IFH TV. You know, it's a niche.
You're able to thrive on the niche because of data.
Correct.
And 2, data-driven decisions are everything. We live in the age of data-driven decisions. Analytics. The people who are successful on YouTube, show me someone who has over 1 million subscribers on YouTube that does not understand how to look at analytics. And also on that other hand, I can show you more examples than I know of people who are not successful in YouTube, and they probably don't even know how to look at their analytics because it tells you everything. It literally tells you everything.